Hi, welcome to CAU TV. I'm your host, Jasmine Brooks, and we're here with former presidential candidate Herman Cain. So, Mr. Cain, let's just jump right into it. So, as a former presidential candidate for the Republican Party, why now don't you want to be called a Republican?
I really wish not to be called a Republican now because after the past few years that I have been with that party, I've realized a lot of their views and a lot of their the things that and people they associate with are not reflective of things that I embody or necessarily want to endorse anymore. That's why now I'm a part of the American Black Conservative Party that I feel like is more or caters more to our social and economic needs in the black community. I try to get more African Americans to join this party so that they can become more aware of it. I actually am now one of the forerunners for this party, and I've been going out to every community, some communities in the Atlanta metropolitan area, in the surrounding suburban area, and also I've been going to parts of rural Georgia actually to try to get more African Americans knowledgeable of this party, so we can start voting this way and start addressing issues that are in our communities.
So, do you feel like the black community has a lot more conservatives, like the more conservatives, or are you trying to pull more black people to the conservative side?
Well, my personal opinion of that is I think we're conservative and we don't know it. You know, a lot of times we have African Americans that only vote one way because it's the traditional of us voting this way. We tend to be Democrat because our parents were Democrats, their parents were Democrats, and their parents were Democrats. And we have no reason or knowledge of why we're even Democrat. It's just because that's what we're told we should be. And what I'm trying to do now is tell a different story to get more followers that will more so feel as though this party, the American Black Conservative Party, will cater to those needs of the community. So yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Okay, you've stated in the previous interview you don't want to be saddled by the dumb things that white Republicans say. What are some of those dumb things, and how do they directly affect you?
One of the key dumb things that and I hate calling it dumb, but one of the things that doesn't sit too well with me is when President Obama passed his health care reform bill, and a lot of the people in the Republican Party were calling it Obamacare, and there was a lot of controversy around that. And regardless of what two different parties may feel about a specific subject matter, I don't think it should come to a public forum where you have obvious chastisement of a specific bill being passed. All I felt, and even with me being a Republican at that time, I felt as though his initiatives were quite admirable. I felt as though it was a real humble idea of him to want to have health care for all of us in a way that we all could get it. But unfortunately, everyone doesn't feel that way. And what I've realized is when you're part of a certain tax bracket, when you're part of a certain social and economic group, you don't understand, or you sometimes forget about the struggles of the common man or of individuals that don't necessarily make the same 6 or 7-figure income as people in the Republican Party make.
Okay, so if you disagree with a lot of the views and things that the Republicans have, why agree to candidacy?
Well, that was then, and this is now. Back then, I was a big supporter of a lot of things. John Boehner spoke about being a Speaker of the House at that time, and a lot of things, other Republicans that were very supportive of their views and things that they had going on. I was very supportive of those things, but when I took time to do my own personal research, I then realized that maybe I'm making decisions that aren't necessarily conducive to my own community. And as I look back and reassess myself, what I want to become, start standing for, and who I like to start advocating for, I realized the American Black Conservative Party is the way to go for this. So my past decisions were in the past. We're going to move forward with the future.
Okay, so you brought up the American Black Conservative Party, or the ABC. So what's the difference between the views of that party and the Republican Party, if any?
The views that I would say are, for example, things such as health care for all of us, like Obama's health care reform bill did state and did have in it. More so being conservative in terms of our spending instead of, right now we're the number one consumers are ethnic group in America. We're really big on spending. I actually read the statistic how in the Jewish community a dollar can circulate in that community about 10 times before it leaves the community. But in the African American community, that dollar would be spent the next day. And it's very unfortunate that we do live like this from paycheck to paycheck, not really sustaining a true social and economic stance within our race and amongst other races. So with being a conservative, it helps you advocate for awareness of this financial literacy and things of that nature. And as a Republican Party, as you know, most of them come from backgrounds, I would say, where they would have what I guess you would call old money, where money's passed down from grandparents, parents, so they've never really had to worry about too much. So that's some of the differences.
Okay, so how do you plan on getting more African Americans to become a part of that ABC? Like what actual plans do you have, like, to take those steps into convincing or showing Black people that we could be conservative?
Well, if you were listening earlier, when I first started, when you first started asking me, I said that I had been traveling to different areas in the metro.
Like as far as like plans, like bills or written.
I see what you're saying. Well, but before we start passing the bills and things of that nature, we have to get the supporters. And as I said, we're getting the supporters by going out to specific communities. A lot of advertisements in the media, a lot of things through social media as well, as far as your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitters, and things of that nature. You can actually follow me on @HermanCain. Being that I was a student over at Morehouse College, which is a part of the Atlanta University Center, which we're in right now, I still have a lot of backing from a lot of the faculty and staff that were there when I was a student and are still there here now. And those are some of the ways we're getting out.
So you're working on bringing HBCUs to a conservative side, or bringing the students in HBCUs to start?
Well, we are really focusing on making sure that young students are politically aware of what's going on. So my party is most definitely spearheading a lot of initiatives to make sure we're aware of those different things. Starting with HBCUs, because we are the American Black Conservative Party. We're going to the historically Black colleges to try to get that type of student.
Okay, thank you. That was our interview with Mr. Herman Cain.